think they let El Chapo get out of his penitentiary to go see about his knee? No.
Jay-Z is sharing a new statement after the civil case accusing him and Shawn Diddy Combs of raping a teenager was dismissed.
Big breaking news tonight. For the first time in the history of New York City, a sitting mayor has been indicted for crimes.
A former assistant to Shawn Diddy Combs speaking out in the new interview with new allegations about wild parties and drug use.
They are going to be watching basically for hours on end in front of people.
Certainly. Here's an even more detailed and expanded version of the text. Do you really think they would let someone like El Chapo, the notorious Mexican drug lord who escaped from some of the most secure prisons in the world, get out of his high-security penitentiary just to go get treatment for a minor health issue like a knee problem? The idea sounds almost absurd when you think about it. But in the...
You think I wasn't gonna get at you from the inside?
He has reached out to a witness, an alleged participant in multiple freak-offs.
Then why Oprah staying quiet? Why Ellen moving to another country?
And he's asking people to intimidate witnesses or pay people off.
Don't be shocked if nobody show up to testify. Don't contact me anymore, Puff. I already got that Houston lawyer breathing down my neck over that 13-year-old girl. If you don't want things to get worse for you, then you need to start answering my son's phone call.
The defendant's goal is to blackmail victims and witnesses either into silence or providing testimony helpful to his defense.
New York is having a problem with leaks in this Diddy case, with alleged video of the court hearings already on the internet and leaked phone calls where he's calling witnesses. Things are getting out of control and you won't believe what he says on these calls. Recently, the DA released that Diddy was contacting witnesses from jail and they were saying this is the reason that he shouldn't get bail. He was using other inmates' phone calls to three-way people who would then call the witnesses, and that's who he spoke to over the phone. Also, in a weird turn of events, the DA who brought these charges against Diddy is suddenly resigning from his position during the biggest case of his career, and that is strange. So let's break down this insane phone call that we found online. Legal disclaimer, people, I'm just a guy that reacts to stuff I find on the internet. So as of right now, everything is rumors, gossip, or opinions of others. Everything in this video is just alleged.
In the world of news and shocking headlines, sometimes things happen that you wouldn't expect. This latest story, however, is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle that's making waves across the media. In an unexpected turn of events, Jay-Z has just issued a new statement regarding a civil lawsuit that was filed against him and his longtime collaborator, Shawn Diddy Combs. The lawsuit accused them both of...
You think they let El Chapo get out of his penitentiary to go see about his knee? No. He had to dig an underground tunnel and leave on a motorcycle to get out of there. So why is Diddy getting raced out in the cover of darkness, we keep hearing? Why does he get the cover of darkness? Why does he get taken out because he needs an aspirin? Help me, Dr. Hendricks.
Well, I'll tell you, each inmate gets a physical within 14 days of their arrival at any facility. And I'm sure, based on reports of him having several knee surgeries throughout the years after being a marathoner back in 2003, so this may have been in the works in terms of getting him out for an MRI, because I know that they don't have that equipment at the institution. And I'll just tell you this, they probably had set this appointment up months, maybe weeks ago, and they set it up for the evening.
To leave at 1 a.m. in the cover of darkness? Okay, you think that's what they set up, Hendricks? Look, I know you're being loyal to MDC, but can we get real? Leaving MDC because your knee hurts? Have you seen that POC?
Jay-Z is sharing a new statement after the civil case accusing him and Shawn Diddy Combs of raping a teenager was dismissed. The woman who filed the lawsuit back in October accusing Jay-Z, whose real name is Shawn Carter, and Combs of raping her after an awards show in 2000 when she was 13 years old. Both Carter and Combs have denied any wrongdoing. According to a new court filing, the case was dismissed yesterday after the accuser's withdrawal. In a new statement shared through Rock Nation, Jay-Z wrote that the claim hurt his family and loved ones, writing, quote, "I would not wish this experience on anyone," adding, "The frivolous, fictitious, and appalling allegations have been dismissed. This civil suit was without merit and never going anywhere."
Of being involved in a shocking situation that allegedly involved a teenager. As serious as the accusation.
Diddy's prison phone call just leaked and it was posted by Social Details. This is allegedly a call that he had, and there's a lot of talk, a lot of code words in there, so we're gonna listen to it together. Check it out.
Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over.
Now, this alleged leaked call from Diddy in prison was talking about getting rid of pizza boxes. Now, if you know your stuff and you're privy, you know exactly what pizza stands for, and that's probably what they're talking about and referring to on this alleged leaked call. Pizza, for those who don't know, I'm gonna make it very clean. It has to do with children and selling.
Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about.
Now, in this alleged phone call, he starts talking about someone named Jay. People are speculating that may be Jay-Z, but there's no confirmation. At the same time, he talks about recycling plastic. I don't know what that could mean. If you guys have any idea, comment and let me know.
Everybody out there quiet as Yeah, exactly. We gonna let them have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have the last laugh.
I mean, it seems by the call that he's looking for help. He's saying that a lot of people are quiet, I guess people that are on his side, and that he's gonna have the last laugh at the end.
Man, just do what I told you to do, and don't forget about the list.
And then he goes on to say, don't forget about the list. And we don't know what that list is or what that implies, but this is pretty crazy. Do I think this is legitimate? There is no confirmation yet if this is legitimate or not, but this is the alleged leak call of Diddy.
Accusations were. They have since been dismissed. However, the case stirred up significant media attention, creating an ongoing storm of speculation and controversy about the people involved, and now Jay-Z is speaking out to address the matter directly. In his statement, Jay-Z is attempting to clear the air and shed light on the situation, urging the public not to jump to conclusions.
New details this morning in the sex trafficking case against Shawn Diddy Combs. Prosecutors now claiming that from behind bars, Combs has been trying to reach out to victims and possible witnesses. And ABC's Phil Lipoff is here now with this story. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning, Gio. Diddy's lawyers trying for a third time to get him out on bail, but this time, the prosecution telling the judge about attempts they say the rap mogul made from behind bars to influence everyone from potential jury to alleged victims. This morning, prosecutors leveling new accusations against Shawn Diddy Combs, saying he poses a serious risk of danger even from behind bars as he awaits trial. In a court filing late Friday, prosecutors detailing the steps they say Combs is taking while locked up to reach out to prospective witnesses and influence public opinion to affect potential jurors.
The accusations within the prosecution's motion to deny bail are very serious and will be considered very heavily by the judge, because the judge is going to want to ensure that he is not influencing witnesses and or contacting anyone to influence a trial in any way.
Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges of racketeering, transportation to engage in prostitution, and sex trafficking. He denies any wrongdoing. The government now asking a judge not to grant Combs' third request for bail, in which the music mogul offers a $50 million bail package citing new evidence and changed circumstances.
While acknowledging the gravity of the accusations that were made. But that's not the only dramatic news unfolding tonight. For the first time in the history of New York City, a sitting mayor has been indicted on criminal charges. This is an unprecedented moment in the city's political history. A sitting mayor, who had once held the trust of the public and the power to influence policy, is now facing legal consequences for his alleged actions. The indictment has caused a wave of disbelief and outrage across the city, as people are grappling with the shock of learning that their elected leader may have been involved in criminal activities. The fallout from this indictment is still unfolding, and it's clear that this is a story that will dominate the headlines for days, if not weeks, to come. Amid all this political turmoil, another bombshell is coming from none other than Deshaun Diddy, a former assistant to media mogul Shawn Diddy Combs. Diddy, who has been a dominant force in the entertainment industry for decades, is facing new allegations that paint a troubling picture of the parties and activities that surrounded him. In an exclusive interview, Deshaun Diddy has gone on the record, speaking out about wild, drug-fueled parties and illicit behavior that allegedly took place within the inner circles of those closest to Diddy. These accusations add to the growing list of controversies that Diddy has been embroiled in over the years, leaving many to wonder what the real story is behind the public persona that has long been built around.
He was a part of that. How did he get the key to the city? That's crazy to me. If he was in incidents and everything around the city that wasn't favorable, how you get key to the city? So now, now you got to realize, if they had the mayor under investigation since 2014, Diddy was in investigation around 2011, 9 or 11, something like that. They say either 9 or 11. One of those people are responsible for the feds looking out after one, or either Diddy responsible, his interaction with the mayor, or the mayor interaction with Diddy may have caused the feds to be looking at both of them in some form or fashion. I don't know which one was first. Was it Diddy interaction with the mayor, or the mayor interaction with Diddy? Which one did the Fed have under surveillance first? And I think it was probably Diddy.
Around him. As if the situation couldn't get any more intense, Diddy himself is now claiming that he's being unfairly targeted by the legal system. He asserts that the charges and allegations against him are not a result of his actions, but rather a reflection of systemic racism within the justice system. According to Diddy, the charge he is facing is not a result of his personal behavior, but a deeper issue rooted in racial bias.
Big breaking news tonight. For the first time in the history of New York City, a sitting mayor has been indicted for crimes. ABC News reporting that Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We do not know yet the exact charges. Federal authorities have been investigating Adams and members of his staff, issuing subpoenas for documents and cell phones. Several members of administration have resigned, some of them also friends of Mayor Adams. Again, Eric Adams, the 110th mayor of New York, has been indicted by a federal grand jury. We'll have the latest online and tonight on Eyewitness News at 11.
New at 5, the legal troubles continue for Shawn Diddy Combs tonight after a judge ordered the music mogul to pay $100 million to a Michigan man who says that he was sexually assaulted by Combs in '97.
According to court documents, Derek Cardello Smith says Combs drugged and then assaulted him during an after party at a Holiday Inn in Detroit. But Combs never responded to the lawsuit in court. On Monday, the judge ordered him to pay $10 million each month starting in October. The victim is currently behind bars serving a 75-year prison sentence for criminal sexual conduct and kidnapping.
He's gone on record stating that as a black man in a position of power, he is being treated differently and that the charges are an extension of the same racial prejudices that have been present throughout history. This claim of racial targeting has sparked fierce debate and calls for more examination of the justice system's treatment of people of color, particularly those in positions of wealth and influence. And if that wasn't enough to shake things up, newly leaked audio tapes have emerged, revealing an allegedly private conversation between Diddy, Jay-Z, and Diddy's son. These tapes, which were never intended for public ears, have caused an uproar for the shocking and
what happened at these lavish drug-fueled nights called Wild King Nights. So this 32-page lawsuit, which was reviewed by multiple outlets including Rolling Stone, was apparently filed in Los Angeles by a man named Philip Pines, who says he worked for Diddy from 2019 to 2021. So actually more recent than some other suits we've seen against Sean Combs that have been in the early 2000s or even the 90s. But according to reporting in the suit, Pines is alleging a few different things here. Now, before we even get into it, and there is a lot to get into, you might be wondering, what the heck does that name mean? What are we talking about when we said Wild King Nights? Well, part of this lawsuit alleges that Pines had to prove his loyalty to Sean Combs, who was dubbed the King, by performing sex acts for him, hence the name Wild King Nights. The suit even reportedly says that Pines was treated, quote, like an animal playing fetch in order to prove his loyalty.
A former assistant to Shawn Diddy Combs speaking out in the new interview with new allegations about wild parties and drug use. Eva Pilgrim is here with the story. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Michael. At this point, we've all probably heard about these infamous parties. Diddy's assistant now giving us details about what he says were called Wild King Nights.
This morning, new details allegedly inside Diddy's world before his shocking arrest.
The entertainment mogul now behind bars for federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges.
It was a circus. He did whatever he wanted, and we were just at his disposal.